Yo, am I the only person who loves when somebody who is vocally anti-vax gets COVID and dies from it? I feel bad for people's families and shit, but I love it. That shit is the funniest thing in the world to me. That shit is always beautiful and it's always the same. On Monday they post, COVID is a hoax, y'all. And then on Wednesday they be like, unfortunately, y'all, I guess I tested positive for a little COVID. No big deal. And then on the next Thursday, his wife posts, we regret to inform you that Mike died of COVID-related complications, but in lieu of flowers, we would like you to donate to your local chapter of the Ku Klux Klan. Honestly, like, I got to the point, it's no more argument about vaccinations. Like, just die. You could just die, my nigga. Like, this nigga Joe Rogan got COVID. I fuck with Joe Rogan on occasion. Like, I'm not a Joe Rogan supporter, but, like, if he got a good guest, like, if Bill Burr's on Joe Rogan's podcast, I'm gonna fuck with it. Partially because Bill Burr is a great comedian, and Joe Rogan can get a good interview with him because they're friends. But also, this nigga Bill Burr will call Joe Rogan out on his shit, and he's great on UFC. I'm sorry, he's great on there. Yeah, like this nigga, he got the shit. He took the fucking horse drug. I love it. Niggas would do anything to not take the vaccine. Like, I was working with a nigga the other day. He was like, he not taking the vaccine because it's not gonna stop him from getting COVID. Like, it don't completely stop this shit. It's like, nigga. Like, motherfucker, a seatbelt don't stop you from getting into a car accident, but it'll stop you from getting thrown through a fucking windshield, nigga. Like, just click it or take it, motherfucker. I don't understand. Like, okay, I'm back. Technical difficulties. My cousin FaceTimed me in the middle of me recording, and my cousin don't be FaceTiming me like that. Like, pretty much ever. Me and my cousin probably FaceTime 2 times ever. One where she called me and one where I called her. So, like, she called me, and I'm like, okay, this must be something of importance. And so I stopped the recording. I go check the fucking call, and it was. She said, "Oh, I called you by mistake." So it's nice to know that I mean nothing to my cousin. And the only time I'll ever get a call is because of a butt dial. So this is great. What was I saying? COVID, vaccines. Oh yeah, motherfuckers would do anything to not take the vaccine. Like, stop talking about CMOS, my nigga. That shit. I'm not even saying that it doesn't work. I'm saying that shit is not medicine. Niggas be trying to tell you to rub CMOS into a bullet wound, my nigga. Like, bro, it's like I would love to see the medical records of niggas who only take CMOS and like see how healthy they actually are, because like it can't be like, you mean to tell me everybody who ever died of cancer is simply because they didn't take their CMOS, my nigga, and their fucking elderberry fucking extract or whatever the fuck. Like, bro, I'm not with it, and I'm not saying there is no such thing as like fucking herbal remedies and like naturalistic blah 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 and all that shit. Like, there are things that from nature that help you, absolutely, but like, nigga, medicine is there for a reason. Niggas want to tell you about Dr. Sebi so bad, bro. Like, where he at, my nigga? He'll still be alive right now if you niggas ain't gas him up. Show me the results of Dr. Sebi's work. Don't show me what he said. Show me any results. Show me a nigga who's like, the nigga Dr. Sebi supposedly cured cancer. Nigga supposedly cured AIDS, my nigga. Show me the nigga who was cured. Was it just Dr. Sebi? Did he only cure it himself? Like, who are these niggas? Who are these niggas who have been cured and fucking holistically repaired by Dr. Sebi's practices? They don't exist. Like, it's gotta stop, bro. Like, and shout out to Dr. Sebi. I'm sure he did some good work, but the nigga was on some bullshit, my nigga. Like, CMOS is not the answer. And by the way, this is the reigning defendant, undefeated, undisputed, most secret podcast on this godforsaken planet. Nobody asked. Shawn, hosted by none other than Chico Dumani himself, the Diamond Boy Shawn Murray, the Shogun's Decapitator, the original thin black dude, heir to the Murray's here, primary fortune, international hard and of course the first Jamaican in the Kentucky Derby. And then the air horn is going off as I'm speaking right now because of the Jamaican part. You guys get it. I'm wearing my home shirt because I had a show this past weekend and I wore this shirt and I fucking killed it. So I'm gonna now call this my lucky shirt and I'm wearing it all the time now. Shout out to the homie Noble. That fucking Certified Lover Boy cover, I just want y'all niggas to know that's not the real cover. Because niggas gotta, cause like, if that is the real cover, we gotta revolt. Like against, not like against Drake specifically, but about niggas half-assing shit. Like, We gotta stop letting niggas, because they have a certain amount of stature, get away with bullshit. Because my nigga, niggas don't buy albums anymore, but you're not selling me a cover of emojis, my nigga. It don't even take no work to make that cover. Like, it just, all you gotta do is hold down the emoji and you can just get all the different versions. That's bullshit, my nigga. Like, put some effort into this shit. What I will say about the Certified Lover Boys, I hope it causes a fist fight. I want Drake and Kanye West to fight, because both of them niggas probably can't fight. And, like, think about this nigga Drake is confident that he is a tough guy now. Like, I think Kanye might fuck this nigga Drake up just on the strength of, like, that nigga ain't right. You know what I mean? Like, that nigga, and not even on some joking around about his mental health shit, but it's like, that nigga will dig deep and pull out some bullshit, like, and it's channel some, like, animalistic, like, fear response and savage this nigga Drake. This nigga Drake been walking around like a fucking kingpin ever since Stay Scheming, and y'all niggas let this happen. I remember one time Vince Staples talked about, like, the amazing thing about Drake is like, this nigga should not have worked. Like, nothing about Drake should have been allowed to happen, and y'all niggas let it happen, and you gotta live with the consequences. Like, when Vince broke it down, this shit was really crazy. Y'all niggas let a Canadian TV basically a teen soap opera star, come to America and become the biggest artist of a generation and one of the biggest artists ever. So y'all niggas can't be mad at Drake. This nigga was in Canada. This nigga had to cross the border to get here, and y'all let this happen. And this ain't no American nationalism. It's like, y'all niggas gotta look yourselves in the mirror and say, like, we allowed this to happen. But anyway, after that Stay Scheming verse, that nigga Drake started walking around like he was a tough guy, and then every chance y'all got to let him remind that nigga that he wasn't a tough guy, you didn't do it. The only nigga I got respect for is this nigga P. Diddy for peeing on Drake. And I don't know if that story is true, but we're gonna run with it because it sounds funny. This nigga be talking like he's like a cold-blooded killer. Like, Drake, we saw you grow up. You're not a tough guy. And I'm not saying you're not capable of doing something tough, but you're not a tough guy. Back to Back was great, but, like, I'm taking Meek in a fight, bro. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga you not street, but he got street niggas behind him. Baka, please don't kill me. But Drake, like, if it was just me and Drake, if I'm walking down the alleyway and I see Drake, I don't give a fuck how much he paid to get his body sculpted that way. That nigga's not putting no fear in my heart. If I see Baka, I'm emptying my pockets. If I see Drake, I'm looking at that nigga eyes and spitting in his direction. Like, I'm like, this nigga's not fearsome. My point is, like, these two niggas just gotta fight, bro. This nigga just keeps heavily implying that he fucked Kim, and it's like, either just straight up say it and live with those consequences, or stop. Because I want to know. I'm not really like a gossip guy, but I really do want to know that. That's very interesting. But also, I don't want it to get out publicly because that nigga Kanye's brain would break, bro. Like, his shit would just, like, crack open like a goddamn egg. I don't want to see that because he's already in a vulnerable state as it is. That shit would just ruin him. Like, if we all, like, because I feel like he thinks he knows that it happened, but we don't have confirmation. If we all had confirmation, he knew that we all knew, that shit might kill him, bro. So I don't want to see that, but I wanted to see these niggas scrap it out. But yeah, I don't know. What else? I really don't got that much for this week. Fuck it. Let's just answer some questions. Get the fuck out of here. Favorite 3 Simpsons episodes. 3 episodes is impossible to pick. I'm just not gonna do it. But I'll name several favorites. Last Exit to Springfield. Bart the Murderer is a great early season episode. Itchy and Scratchy and Marge. Camp Krusty is one of my favorite episodes. I think it's the season 3 or season 4 premiere. Excellent episode. Homer at the Bat. Bard of Darkness. The Itchy and Scratchy and Poochie show. I mean, Poochie episode is a classic among classics. The Front. Great episodes. Season 4. The Simpsons makes me really sad, man. Like, I really wish The Simpsons would have ended at least 10 years ago. At least 10 years ago. Just to preserve the legacy of The Simpsons, because it's truly, like, at its peak, the best television show that was ever created. Certainly the quintessential American television program of the 20th century. It was everything. It represented American culture so well. And it's nothing now. Like, the Simpsons cultural footprint, I'm sure it still gets, like, a decent amount of viewers every Sunday, but it doesn't mean anything in the culture, and because it can't. Nothing can sustain itself for that long and still mean what it once meant. That's the truth of anything. Like, it happens to musicians, it happens to directors, it happens it's just very difficult. Like, when you are at your peak of your powers, you're tapping into something, you're speaking to a certain part of culture, and you're speaking to the zeitgeist in a way that you can't after a certain point, because like you just kind of outgrow it. The Simpsons just means nothing anymore, and it makes me sad because it's the greatest show. What is my energy source of choice? Like Red Bull, Bang, 5 Hour Energy. I just eat sugar. Like, I just, like, not just like pure sugar. I have them that as a child, but like Power Bright crawlers, goddamn high chews, goddamn just candy, man, just pure sugar. I like it. Like, that's what fuels me. I don't need, like, I never drink energy drinks, never drink coffee. I just sugar. Just fucking put it in my vein. Favorite Viggo Mortensen movie? Eastern Promises or History of Violence. Same director, David Cronenberg. Those are both excellent. If you've never seen those movies, watch those movies. Both incredible. But a late dark horse pick, and I don't know if it's my favorite. I really like it. And it's underseen as a movie called Captain Fantastic. Watching a movie in a theater or watching a movie at home, the theatrical experience just can't be replicated. Like, it's just the best thing in the world. I've watched so many movies for the first time at home, and it's an enjoyable experience as well. But there's something about just giving yourself over to the theater that just can't be beat. If I could have my way, it would always be in a theater. Or, I mean, my dream is to have a home theater, and not even on some, like, I have a mansion at home theater. Like, just making my basement into a place where I watch movies in solace. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it don't gotta be just the biggest possible screen I can fit in my basement, and some seats, just a dark area separate from everything else, where it's like, cause I hate watching movies in the living room and shit, because people be walking through, and it's like, I just want to, like, just have a separate space. So if I have to watch it at home, that's how I prefer to do it. But movie theaters. Least favorite comedian, name names. Chris Sear, that nigga know why. Favorite YouTube creators, it's mostly people who do video essays on movies on YouTube. Captain Christian, he does great videos largely about cartoons on YouTube. It's Captain Christian with 2 Ks. He's been on hiatus for a while. I don't know what's going on with him, but I highly, highly, highly recommend his videos. There's a creator called Nerd Writer who does great essays on film. This is a defunct channel, but it was really good. It's called Every Frame of Painting. It's about the visual language of film. Highest recommendation possible. Gotham Chess. I watch a lot of chess videos. Mainly, he's my favorite creator for chess videos. And Patrick H. Willems. Patrick H. Willems also does video essays, but he has like a narrative to his videos where he kind of tells this story about him and his kind of roommates and his friends that are kind of surround these video essays about different things about film, and those are great. Also, the Armchair Auteur, he does good film reviews. And finally, some podcast recommendations. I listen to a lot of podcasts, like so many. I'm just gonna list a few that I would highly recommend. I Am Athlete, Hollywood Handbook, one of the funniest podcasts ever. Andy Daly's podcast, Pilot Project, maybe the funniest podcast ever. 85 South, The Right Time with Bomani Jones is something I listen to a lot. The Dave Chang podcast is excellent. It's a really interesting podcast that I recommend to a lot of people just to see what your tastes are. It's called Dead Eyes. It's a podcast about a dude who worked on the HBO miniseries Band of Brothers, and he was fired, and he was told that the reason he was fired is because Tom Hanks thought he had dead eyes in his audition. And it's basically an explanation about why he got fired, and it's not as so, like, and it's just super interesting. It's funny. It's insightful, and it seems frivolous, but it goes into really interesting places. I love that show. So Dead Eyes, it's been 2 seasons so far. It's there's supposed to be a 3rd season coming, and it's great. There's a bunch more. If you really want to know about podcasts, man, I'm the podcast guy. Like, I know all the podcasts. So yeah, fuck with me. That's the episode. I'm probably gonna put out the first episode of Shawn International Film Festival on Monday. It'll probably be released on Mondays going forward, so look out for that. Like, subscribe, share, save, all that shit. Saturday, September 4th, Labor Day. Come out to Hot Rods in New London. I'm on a show with just some heavy hitters, including the fucking dreaded Chris Sear, hosted by the great DMFK. See you there. As always, Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.